Hello, Frontier Summer EdCamp families. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to present to you and give you some information about camp and everything that we have planned for all of our students this summer. I did want to just let you know that following this presentation, you will receive an email from your camp facilitator that will have all of the documents that we refer to within this presentation. She'll send things like an event calendar, menus, permission slips, all of those types of things. So please keep an eye out for that email. And let's get started by just introducing you to some of our Kids Zone staff this summer at Frontier. You'll see here we have lots of staff members at Frontier this year. For those of you that are returning, you'll see a lot of familiar faces. We will have 3 classrooms at Frontier this year. We're going to split them by grade level. So we'll have a K first grade-ish classroom. We'll have a 2nd and 3rd grade classroom, and then a 4th through 8th grade classroom. So Miss Christie that you see first, she will be the lead staff member in the 2nd through 3rd grade classroom. Miss Michelle will be the lead in the kindergarten through 1st grade classroom, and she was in that classroom last year as well, so you might recognize her. And then we have Miss Katie in our oldest classroom, and Miss Katie has been at Frontier for the last few summers, so you may recognize her as well. All of the other pictures, with the exception of the one at the end, will be our support staff at Frontier. Those will be our associates that help to support those classrooms in the morning and the afternoons. And then the last picture that you see is Miss Jennifer Pettit. You may recognize her from prior summers as well. She is our Kids Zone facilitator at Frontier. So we're excited to have her here. And actually, I'm going to turn it over to her. She'll introduce herself and just tell you a little bit about what to expect for this summer. Jennifer?
Hi, everyone. I'm Miss Jennifer. I go by Miss Jen. Feel free to call me that. I'm super excited to see you guys this summer and see some familiar faces as well as new ones. I'm looking forward to an awesome summer with you guys. Hope it's great.
Thank you, Jen. One exciting thing that we are proud to share with you for this summer, it's a new thing for us, is that this year will be the first summer that we actually have a social worker intern that's helping to support our Kids Zone Summer Ed Camp. And so we are excited to welcome Miss Eunice to our team. She is a social worker intern with the district, and she was with us in the spring semester, and she'll be here for the entire summer as well. Some of the things and some of the ways that she'll be supporting our team is she will be on campus at Frontier every Thursday, and she will help us. Each week we will be focusing on a classroom social skill. So those might include things like introductions and getting to know each other, following classroom directions, resolving conflicts appropriately, taking turns, all of those types of things. And so she'll be there to help support those skills and to teach lessons within the classroom. She may also be working with small groups of children or individual children as needed. She's also available for any families who may need some support with a crisis that may be going on or something that may have popped up. And so we're really excited to have her join us this summer. This is a great opportunity and a great support for our team to have at Frontier. So we welcome her. Some basic housekeeping things about Summer Ed Camp. Our first day of camp is May 26th. That is a Wednesday. So there are a few days in between the end of school and the start of summer camp that helps us as staff to be able to close down our school year classrooms and make sure that we have the classrooms prepared and ready for our students for a successful summer. And then we do have 2 holidays this summer where we will be closed. The first one happens pretty quickly. It's on May 31st, and that's Memorial Day. So we will be closed, no camp on that day. The second one will be on July 5th, which is also a Monday. And that's the day that we have scheduled to observe Independence Day. So just wanted to highlight those 2 for your calendar. Our last day of camp will be a Wednesday, which is July 28th. So it's 10 weeks, the first and the last being shorter weeks. Just to kind of tell you how it works, I told you a little bit, there will be 3 classrooms based primarily on grade levels, but there may be some tweaks to that depending on the needs of students. We will utilize our classrooms, the 3 rooms, for the majority of the day, but we will visit other parts of the campus at Frontier. We will use the computer lab almost daily. We'll use the multi-purpose room for a variety of reasons. We'll use it for our vendors. We will use it for our gross motor play. It's a little bit warm during the summer, and so we are only able to get outside on the playground first thing in the morning. And then after that, we have scheduled time in the gym for facilitated gross motor. And then just to let you guys know, we do start the beginning of the day all together in one classroom as students come in. We will go outside and right before breakfast, and then after breakfast, we break out into our 3 different classrooms. We also finish the very end of the day all together in one classroom because that helps us to be able to close down parts of the campus and make sure that they're ready for the following day. So you might be wondering, what do we do all day long while we're at summer camp? We have so many activities and so many things planned throughout the day. On the next slide, we'll kind of go through our weekly themes, but we do have activities planned around our weekly themes. Within those daily activity plans, we have a variety of hands-on engaging activities. We do a number of STEM activities, so science experiments. We do engineering challenges and projects. We do a whole group and small group challenges, lots of minute to win it games, things like that. We do whole group games in the multi-purpose room, in the classroom. We do arts and crafts activities where the kids really have the opportunity to be creative and create their own artwork. We have what we call center time multiple times a day as well. That's when students have the ability to access the different center areas in the classroom. Some of the center areas that you might see in a classroom are the art center, which has a variety of open-ended art materials where students can go and create and be imaginative. We have the building area, which has our blocks and our magnet tiles and animals and people and all the manipulatives that you could think of for building purposes. We have a cozy corner, which has the books and comfy place to get comfortable. That's a place where if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed or a little bit tired and just kind of need a break from the classroom, you're able to utilize that. We have dramatic play, which is kind of like our pretend play area. It sometimes is a house area, sometimes it's a veterinarian shop, other times it might be a restaurant, and so we mix that up to match the themes. And then we do have a sensory bin as well, which is changed out weekly so students can have that sensory experience. Every day, all of our classrooms will have a story time. For the younger grades, it is a picture book that's read aloud to them along with an activity to correlate with the story. For older grades, it's a little bit more independent. We'll do a chapter book that we might read a chapter a day, or we'll do read alouds. Sometimes we'll have quiet reading time on their own. We also have computer lab most days as well. I spoke a little bit about outside time and multi-purpose room gross motor time. And then we do spend a good amount of time during camp eating as well. We have 4 meals throughout the day. So we do breakfast, a morning snack, lunch, and then an afternoon snack as well. I mentioned a little bit about our weekly themes. So we do have a theme for each week that all of the classrooms will be focused on. And all of these themes were voted on by our current Kid Zone students. So these were all picked out by students. Some of them are repeats from summer before because they were just so popular. Others are new, brand new for us. And so some of the newer ones are road trip. We're excited about that one this year. Students will be visiting a number of different monuments and famous cities throughout the United States and planning their road trips. We have Pets Week, which is always a popular one. And then Glow in the Dark, I think, was the most popular in the votes this year. And that always is a great time with glow in the dark activities and projects that they're working on. One change, if you've been with us for a couple of summers, you may be used to doing off-campus field trips. We made the decision this year to still not be taking students off campus. With all of the COVID precautions, we decided it would be best to stay on the campus of Frontier. But don't worry, we have plenty of exciting visitors planned. Some of these we've used for many summers. Some of them are brand new this summer, and we're really excited about the experiences that we're able to bring to Frontier. Arizona Science Center will come out. They are a regular vendor of ours. They'll come out 3 different times this summer. They're going to do an assembly for us one time, and then they have a couple of cool other theme-related science projects that we'll be working on. Challenge Island is one that we're excited for. They're brand new for summer for us. And they are a company that come out and they do a bunch of hands-on facilitated small group challenges, similar to like a Survivor or Escape the Room type things, where they're presented with a challenge and they have to create different things and problem solve and work as a team. So they'll be visiting a few times this summer. This one I think will be very popular with the students. We are having a game truck come out twice this summer. Don't worry, all of the games within the truck are rated E and appropriate for the age level. We'll have mini golf and laser tag. We're having the Phoenix Zoo and Legoland are doing virtual field trips for our students. So those are exciting. And then of course we have things like Christopher the Magician and Bubble Maniac. Sardella's Pizza is going to come out during cookout week. So we have a number of really exciting, engaging vendors coming to us. One thing I do want to note about those visitors, we will be sending a permission slip for all of the vendors, and it's just one permission slip saying that you understand that these vendors will be here and that you are giving your child permission to participate in those activities. Some arrival procedures for Frontier. We are asking that families park in a parking spot this year. If you've attended at Frontier in the past, we have allowed families to park at the curb and then enter in the door there at Frontier. This year, we are sharing the campus with a summer school program that's running for a lot of the summer. And so we want to make sure that we're not interfering with any drop-off procedures or any buses that may be taking place for that. So we do ask that instead of parking on the curb, that you park in a parking space in the main parking lot, which is just east of the campus. We will have signs up for you so you'll know which door to enter and which rooms and which hallways, but it will be the door that is furthest north on the campus. So it's on the north side of the campus when you park in the parking lot. Again, we will have plenty of signage out there and staff to help you on your first day, but just wanted to make sure that you are aware. Miss Jen will be sending a campus map for you as well, so that way it'll be pretty clear on where to park and where to enter. Classroom expectations. We do have universal expectations for behavior throughout all of our Kids Zone programs. They consist of 4 different expectations. The very first one is to be safe. First and foremost, it's our job to make sure that all students and staff are safe while attending Kids Zone. The second is be respectful, be responsible, and then be helpful. One of the things that we spend a lot of time every day covering is what are the expectations and what does that look like? So every day these expectations will be reviewed and staff will talk with students about what does that look like? How are we safe in the classroom? How are we respectful to our friends, to our staff members? How can we be helpful? How does that look on the playground? How does it look in the classroom? So we will spend a lot of time just teaching these expectations and reinforcing them within the classroom. We'll also refer back to them when we're having to provide some guidance for students. If they're not behaving in a safe way, we'll talk about ways that they need to behave in order to stay safe. The expectation for our program and from a licensing perspective is that students need to be able to function in a classroom with 20, 25 students in the classroom with their staff members. So we want to make sure that we're supporting students to ensure that the behavior of all students allows children to feel safe in the classroom. Meals, we talked a little bit about this already, but we will be providing 4 meals a day at no additional cost. That's part of the Kids Zone fee that you're paying. So breakfast will be provided, a morning snack, lunch, and an afternoon snack. All of the meals are provided through our food service department within the district. You do have the option if you have a student that might be a picky eater, or maybe that particular day they don't really want what's on the menu, then you're more than welcome to send them with breakfast or lunch or all of the above to ensure that they're getting what they need. One major thing that we want to make sure and touch base about is any allergies or medical concerns for your student. We do know that we'll have several students that have either a food allergy or have a medical concern of some sort that may require a medicine. All of that will be accommodated and provided while we're at camp, but there are some things that need to be taken care of before camp starts. So if you have a student that will require medicine, specifically a life-saving or potentially life-saving medicine, please make sure you connect with Jennifer before camp starts. We'll make sure that we have the medicine that we need, that the forms are complete. We will say that if your child requires a life-saving medicine, they're not able to attend until we have all of that in place to ensure their safety while they're at camp. So just some basic information about contracts and payments. We refer to contracts as the days that you've selected for your child to attend. So all of you completed registration through our online registration system. That's also where you will change or make any edits to the days that you've selected. So if you would like to change your contract and add days or take away days because maybe you're going on vacation, you will do that all through the online registration system, which can be found on our website. We do ask that any changes are made the Tuesday prior to the following week. So if you need to add days or take away days for the upcoming week, you'll need to do that by Tuesday. The reason for that is we'll go in on Wednesday and send an invoice. So you'll get an email with an invoice for what is due for the following week. That payment is required to be made by Friday, so the Friday prior to attendance. And so you'll make changes by Tuesday, we'll invoice on Wednesday, and then payments are due by Friday. We do that to ensure that we have accurate head counts and make sure that everything's ready for the following week. Payments will also be made on the online registration system. Those payments will be made on Friday. You'll get the invoice. It'll have a link directly in there, so that way you are able to easily make your payment. If you do need to make a cash payment, that can be done. We can take care of that in the Kids Zone office. So please either reach out to Jennifer or reach out to Isabel in the Kids Zone office to make sure that you can come in and make a cash payment. One thing that we would like to touch base on a little bit is personal belongings. We do ask that students bring very little personal belongings to camp. We have enough materials in the classroom and enough activities planned that we really ask that parents do not allow students to bring toys from home. That way, we don't want anything to get lost or broken, and sometimes sharing your own personal toys from home is really challenging. So we do ask that toys stay at home. We do also ask that students bring a water bottle every single day. So similar to what you've done during the school year, we will have access to all of the bottle refill stations, but we just want to make sure that all students come with a water bottle that they're able to fill up. Anything that the student does bring from home, we ask that it's small enough to fit into a shoe size box. So the way that it's going to work is every child will receive a shoe size bin with their name on it, and that's where they'll keep all of their belongings to ensure that we're not mixing up student belongings, that sort of thing. One important thing to note about personal belongings is we ask that they do not bring personal electronics, including cell phones. Unfortunately, we do not allow cell phones while in the classrooms at camp. The reason for that is we want to keep the cell phones safe and make sure that they're not broken or stolen, but we also want to ensure the privacy of others and making sure that cell phones aren't being used to record students who have asked to not be recorded or have pictures taken. And so if you do have a child that will bring their cell phone, we'll have them keep it put away until you pick them up. That being said, if you feel like it's important to be able to reach your student, we 100% understand that. So we do have a cell phone up front here that'll be included in the information that's emailed to you. It'll also be posted all over the campus. So if you do need to reach your student for any reason, you're more than welcome to call that cell phone. Your student can also use that cell phone to ask to reach out to you if they feel like that's something they need to do. Just quickly want to kind of review our COVID-19 procedures. You're going to notice that they're very similar to what we've had during the school year. So some of our mitigation strategies, our staff and students are able to wear masks if they choose to do so. Beginning in the summer, they will be optional for staff and students, but we absolutely support students and staff that do feel like it's important to wear those masks. And so those will be optional for staff and students. Health screenings will be conducted both by staff and students prior to coming to camp to ensure that those that are not feeling well stay at home. We have increased cleaning and disinfecting built into the day. We have additional staff to help support that. And we have checklists to make sure that all of that is getting done throughout the day. Hand washing is part of our routine. It's built into our routine throughout the day. We will encourage social distancing whenever possible. So all of the times of day where we are able to social distance, that will be encouraged. Students will receive their own individual art supplies, so things like scissors and glue and coloring utensils. They will receive their own Ziploc of materials, so that way they're not sharing all of those materials throughout the day. And then one thing we want to touch on too is I mentioned earlier that our kids that other programs will be running during the summer, like summer school and things like that. One thing that we will do is we will ensure that the kids' own cohort stays just that, a cohort. So similar to like first grade right now goes to the playground with only first grade during the school day. We will be doing that during the summer. So our kids' own students will stay together for things like meals and playground time and all of that. So all of our students will be cohorted together as a kids' own summer ed camp cohort. I touched base a little bit about health screening. So one thing we will ask you to do prior to bringing your child to camp is please complete a health screening with them. That will include taking their temperature. Anything of 100 or greater, they do need to stay home. And then if they're exhibiting any of the symptoms listed on this short list, they will also need to stay home, as it could be a symptom of COVID. So those include the same things that we've looked for during the school year, things like cough and chills, headache, sore throat, nausea, congestion, things like that. We do ask that they stay home. Please let us know if they're not feeling well. And we will be following the same quarantine and isolation guidelines that we followed throughout the school year that are provided by Maricopa County Health. If we go to the next slide, it just talks a little bit about those quarantine and isolation guidelines. I believe most of you would be familiar with these, as they are the same procedures that we followed throughout the school year. So if your student is exhibiting symptoms, or if they are sent home from camp with symptoms, they are required to stay isolated for either 10 days. So they would have to stay home for 10 days and they can return on the 11th as long as their symptoms have gotten better. Or you can get a negative COVID test, and as long as they've been feeling better for 24 hours, they can return back to camp. We will be doing everything within our power to make sure that students are not, testing positive with COVID. However, some things do happen, and there is always a possibility that a student at camp could test positive. If that's the case, we will do our contract tracing like we've done throughout the school year and identify any students that maybe have been exposed and possibly need to quarantine. If that's the case, we will follow the same guidelines for quarantine. It is a 10-day quarantine. Students can return on the 11th as long as they are symptom-free. There is the option as well of testing on the 6th day, and as long as it comes back as negative, then you can return on the 7th day after quarantine. Don't feel like you have to remember any of this information. If any of these situations were to arise, we would definitely provide guidance on how to return back to camp safely. And with that, I believe that is all of the information that we were hoping to share with you before we get started with summer camp. Again, we are so looking forward to having your children with us for summer camp. We can't wait to get started. If you have any questions, a lot of information was provided. So if you have any questions after this presentation, or even after you get Jennifer's email with all of the additional documents and information, please feel free to reach out to us. Jennifer's email is listed on there and her direct phone number. So we welcome any questions or concerns, or if you need clarification on anything, please let us know. If not, we are so looking forward to seeing you on the first day of camp. Thank you so much and have a great day.